taking names and going to as many networking events as you can and making sure that you're locked into everything that you can accomplish here academically and socially, and my favorite phrase, keeping the main thing, right? Because one day, those connections are going to pay dividends and put you in positions that you have to be ready to take advantage of. And so another phrase we use in basketball, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
One more question, please.
Hi, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for such a great session. My name is Sydney Case. I'm a senior in hospitality and tourism management, and I also am a women's basketball manager here, and I work in the event management department as an intern in the athletics department. And I was wondering, what specific values or principles do you prioritize in in building a strong, unified team, and how do you ensure that culture is upheld throughout the season?
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to uphold it during the season because you go through so many highs and lows. I think the biggest thing I've learned is you gotta confront the elephant in the room always, right? You can't let things fester. You can't be afraid of difficult conversations. You got to make sure to lead in that way. You got to be able to hear hard truths, as a leader, and you got to be able to tell hard truths as a leader. But you also have to surround yourself with people that you trust and people who can help you, when you get tunnel vision and help you see the big picture and can be honest with you and transparent with you. But as far as the things that we value, first and foremost, competitive spirit and competitive drive. Like in our industry, if you're not a competitor, you're not going to last. And it doesn't have to be to win at all costs, right? It's just how you do what you do every single day. Like for me as a human being, like if you're leaving your shopping cart out in the middle of the parking lot, I'm judging you. You're not going to be on my team, right? Like you're not going to be on my team. If I'm watching you and you're on the end of the bench with bad body language and not being a good teammate, like I don't want you on my team, right? It's not really about how many points you score. It's not about, all the stats and the numbers and the figures. It's are you giving everything that you have every day? And it's about being a good human being. Are you a good teammate? Are you helping your teammates up? Are you a good sport? Are you shaking the hands of the opponent? All of those intangible things. Are you looking people in the eye when they're talking to you? How are you being coached? Can you take coaching? All of those things. And, oftentimes we talk about, there are certain program kids that you want to be a part of your team because they've been challenged, they've been coached, that they understand the bigger picture, how to be a part of a team. That they understand that sometimes it might be their day, sometimes it might not, and they're going to still be great teammates. They're going to still continue to work and grow. And then there are other players who come from programs that you don't necessarily trust that happens. So we have to do our homework. We have to do interviews, see how they answer questions. One of my first questions is always, do you love the game of basketball? If you don't love the game of basketball, you're probably not going to last very long. You can be really good and you can be really talented, but eventually that's going to fizzle out because it's going to be hard. What's your greatest failure? We don't let kids fail. Like, you have to be able to fail to succeed. Like, I got knocked on my butt so many times, just in life in general. And you have to be resilient. You have to know how to get back up. That's one lesson that I feel like I've learned as a parent. Like, I don't want to save my kids from everything. They need to know how to have difficult conversations. They need to know how to get back up when they've fallen. They need to know, how to connect with other people. So have you failed? And what has that been like for you? What have you learned from it? How have you come back from it? Because everybody else sees the success, and they think that that's all that you've experienced, and it's not. And the success is probably our escape from all of the other things that we've had to go through to get there, right? And it's part of what motivates us and drives us. And so those are some of the questions that we ask and some of the things that we look for. But that's not just reserved for sport. Like, that's life, right? And one of the things that I love about sport is that it transcends, what we do every day on the basketball court or on the field, and it is about life experience and preparing you for life when you have to hang up those shoes.
Well, I want to ask you, Stephanie, a question I ask every